It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Got something really, really special for you today. It's by a brewery called Stronzo, and it's a bottle of precious mud. It's a Bourbon barrel-aged black mead. It's 15% ABV. And there's two real reasons why this is such a special beer. Number one, there was only 700 of these bottles ever produced. And number two, Stronzo went bankrupt in 2014. So they brewed this beer, 700 bottles, and then they went bankrupt. So the beer, being 15% ABV, will last a long time. The official date is 2019. But I bet you could lay this beer down and age it for 40 years, easily, at 15% ABV. There's a look at the gold bottle cap. Really excited by this. I've never reviewed a beer before where the company's gone bankrupt. It's a bit of course, it's a massive shame. Everybody wants craft brewers to be successful. I'll tell you the story in a moment, but the beer, Stronzo, were from Denmark. Nice bit of smoke. Look at that smoke on the opening. Black mead then. Bourbon barrel-aged black mead. Look at the way that beer is pouring out. Oh my goodness me, that is the most amazing head that I think I've ever seen on a beer. Well, it's not a beer, it's a mead. One finger, dark chocolate tan coloured head, jet black mead in the glass. Nice levels of carbonation. Should we get the aroma? Oh, blimey. I'm picking up a lot of black malt, a lot of roasted malt. And the barrel age process has, it smells hot. It smells quite alcoholic. You really do smell that bourbon. I'm going to dive in. It smells wonderful. Cheers. Wow. Oh. Well, that's just incredible. That is probably one of the strangest experiences I've ever experienced with a beer. Or with a mead. It's not a beer, it's a mead. What began with massive amounts of bourbon alcohol up front just disappeared. In a flash, disappeared. And there was this massive lull of calm, of nothingness. And then it was just this really nice apple, pear, fruit back end. Let's go again. Really is an intense bourbon whiskey to begin with, and then it just falls off a cliff, completely falls off a cliff, and you're waiting and you're picking up subtle raisin, subtle apple flavours, subtle pear flavours in there. It's quite sweet. Mead is generally sweet. It's got a lot of honey in there. You do taste a little bit of that honey. It's a sticky kind of cider. It reminds me of a cidery kind of mouthfeel. Very sweet mouthfeel, sweet taste, thin but medium all at the same time. I feel like I'm drinking something really special. And I want to talk to you about the brewery for a moment, if I may. And that is that I was speaking to my good friend Peter, the Master of Hoppit, who is from Denmark, and he told me that Stronzo, which basically, let me tell you what Stronzo means first. Stronzo means shit in Italian. So essentially there was a little bit of play on words here. It was like shit brewing company. It was a very clever way of a very clever name to call your brewery. In the UK, Stronzo means asshole. So asshole brewing company, or in Italian, shit brewing company. But in Denmark, Stronzo Brewing Company. I like the name Stronzo. It's got a nice kind of kick to it. So that was the cleverness. That was the thinking behind the people behind Stronzo Brewing Company. They went out big. So I'm told. They were putting adverts on big billboards. They were spending a lot of money on advertising. And I suppose they just couldn't make it. They just couldn't get through that financial burn. It basically, your company will burn money and burn money and burn money. Tell me about it. YouTube, it's exactly that for me. I have to have a part-time job to fund my YouTube channel, but I am pretty sure in the distant future, maybe even my kids' future, I'll be able to hand in something which might be a profitable business. I don't know, but at the moment the money burn is enough that I need a job to fund this whole channel. And that's what happens. The more you take on, the more debt you take on with a company, the more money you burn through because you owe interest to these banks you borrow from, and you owe money to the advertising people that you've advertised with, and the money just didn't come back fast enough for this brewery to survive, and it's a real shame. A wonderful mead. Apple, bourbon, massive. I mean, as soon as that beer hits your mouth, it's boom, it's bourbon. Bourbon. Incredible beer. But would I buy it again? 15% ABV. A little bit of sticky honey on the back end. I think I would buy a bottle to share. Not that I'll ever find a bottle again. It was only 700 made and the brewery's gone bankrupt. But if I had the chance to buy another bottle again, I think I would buy a bottle and share it, or age it for, I'd probably age it for 20 years. And then if I'm lucky enough to have grandkids or that type of thing in the future, then I would crack it off, crack the cap open on a special occasion, and it's one of them really kind of big occasion beers that the birth of becoming a granddad or something like that, you know, where your kids have children. It's one of them beers that you would go, bang, I'm gonna get that beer out for that special occasion. Would I buy it again just to drink on a regular basis? To buy and say I'm gonna drink that on a Friday night? Probably not. 15% is just a little bit too much for me. But all the same, it's an amazing beer. A mead, I keep saying beer. I'm a beer reviewer, I'm sorry, it's a mead. It's an amazing mead. It really is. Rating, it's difficult. It's difficult to rate. It really is. I reckon it's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. That's a look at Stronzo. Precious Mod. Barrel aged mead. 15% ABV. Thanks for watching this very special mead review. Please comment, please subscribe, and cheers.